Hey, how are you? Tell in comments. Let's dive into today's topic.
Welcome everyone to this explainer. So today, we're going to dive into something that could completely transform your daily workflow. We are taking your AI experience from a fleeting, easily lost browser tab and turning it into a persistent local powerhouse. Seriously, if you use AI on a regular basis, you're going to want to pay close attention to this. Let's be real for a second and start with a universally frustrating reality. Standard AI tools are incredibly useful, right? But they don't actually feel like dedicated assistants. And why is that? It's because they literally vanish the second you close your browser. You open a tab, ask a quick question, and once that tab inevitably gets lost in the sea of 50 other tabs you have open, your entire context just disappears into the void. They feel way more like tools you have to constantly manage and reopen, rather than an actual partner that's actively helping you work. So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll unpack the browser bot problem. Then, we'll meet ClawdBot. After that, we'll cover the actual requirements and costs, walk through a step-by-step setup, and finally, unleash its full potential.
Okay, Section 1, the browser bot problem and why web AI falls short.
The core difference here is pretty striking when you break it down. Typical browser AI basically forces you to bounce between multiple tabs, all while your data is sitting out there on some random third-party server. It's completely disconnected from your actual workspace. ClawdBot, on the other hand, integrates directly into your daily tools. It has persistent memory, it learns your preferences, and it keeps your context locked safely on your own machine.
Which brings us nicely to Section 2, Meet ClawdBot, your local AI solution.
The absolute most crucial point to understand here is what ClawdBot actually is. It's a self-hosted assistant. Now, what does that mean? It means the agent itself lives directly on your computer, not hidden inside some web interface. But instead of forcing your computer to run a massive hardware-melting language model locally, it essentially just outsources its brain power. It connects to dedicated world-class models like Claude or ChatGPT via an API. Think of it like a highly secure digital bridge to those external brains. You get total local control, but with cloud-level intelligence.
And that dynamic really captures the magic of this whole setup. ClawdBot feels way less like a typical robotic chatbot and much more like an actual living assistant. It gets to know your workflow, it doesn't just blindly spit out text prompts, it rolls up its sleeves and actually gets real work done for you.
Let's move on to Section 3, Requirements and Costs. What do you actually need to pull this off?
So the very first question that always comes up whenever someone mentions the words local AI is about hardware. Everyone assumes you need to buy a supercomputer, a dedicated server rack, or go drop cash on a brand new Mac Mini just to handle the processing load. Well, the short, very relieving answer is absolutely not. You can run this on pretty much any modern device you already own, whether you're a Mac user, on Windows, or rocking Linux. Because your computer is only running that lightweight agent we talked about and connecting to providers like Anthropic or OpenAI for the actual heavy lifting, it barely uses any system resources. Seriously, there are no crazy hardware requirements here. And what about the price tag? You're going to love this because the cost structure is incredibly approachable. The ClawdBot software itself, completely free, $0. You only pay variable usage costs for the API keys. So essentially, you're just paying literal fractions of a cent per request, depending on how powerful of a model you decide to hook up. Sure, if you want to add in premium third-party tools down the line, there might be some optional extra costs, but the core foundation is extremely budget-friendly.
All right, Section 4, step-by-step setup. Let's get this thing up and running.
Now, I want to be completely transparent with you guys here. Setting this up isn't exactly plug and play like downloading an app on your phone. You are going to need to open your terminal, and you might have to install some standard background software like Node.js if you don't already have it. But listen, don't panic. If you just follow along with the guides, this is a one-time setup. It should only take you about 30 to 60 minutes. And once it's configured, it runs like an absolute dream, and you rarely, if ever, need to touch those settings again. Let's look at how the installation flow actually builds. It basically boils down to 4 main steps. Step 1, grab your API key from a provider, like Anthropic. Step 2, copy a single install command right from the ClawdBot website and just paste it into your terminal. Step 3, click through the automated quick start configuration that pops up. And Step 4, send a start message to your newly connected Telegram bot. That Telegram bot essentially acts as your personal chat interface to talk to your new local brain. Simple as that. Oh, a crucial pro tip for you when you're going through that quick start phase. You'll need to pick a default AI model. Based on the source material, selecting something like Sonnet 4.0 is a phenomenal choice. It offers this really fantastic balance of speed, cost efficiency, and a super recent knowledge base. Now, going for the absolute most powerful models will definitely burn through your API credits faster, but remember, you are never locked in. You can easily switch models later on depending on whatever specific task you're tackling that day. Okay, finally, Section 5, Unleashing Potential. Moving way beyond a simple browser bot. This is where things get genuinely jaw-droppingly exciting. Because it's local, ClawdBot could actually execute bash commands. That means it can send direct instructions to your computer's operating system. It can write and run code for you. If you hook it up to a provider like Brave Search, it can pull live up-to-the-second web data, rather than just relying on whatever old data it was trained on. It can seamlessly generate documents, spreadsheets, or presentations directly from your chat without you ever opening a single one of those applications. Plus, you're not just limited to Telegram, you can interact with it right through Slack or Discord too.
And hey, if you ever need to check on your assistant's settings, you don't have to go digging around in messy JSON files full of raw computer code. No way. You just head to localhost port 18789 in your browser. Boom, that brings up this beautifully built-in web dashboard. Right from there, you get a full view of your chat histories, the bot's current status, and all of your configuration settings in one really clean visual interface.
But best of all, we have to talk about privacy, because this is huge. Because this agent lives locally on your own machine and talks directly to the AI provider's API, your personal files and all of your conversation context are never, ever routed through some random secondary third-party server. Everything stays safely right there on your machine. You are literally building a private AI powerhouse that is tailored entirely to how you work.
We've covered a ton of ground today, walking through exactly how to reclaim your workflow and build an AI that actually acts as a true, persistent, reliable assistant. So, my final question to leave you with today is this. Now that you know exactly how to build your own private, local AI powerhouse, what tedious daily task are you going to hand over to your new local assistant first? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.